blogging is a lot of work. That's no secret. And a lot of times people just either they burn out or their passions change, their interests change, but they still have this really great asset. They've created all of this amazing content. And I just want to be able to see it go to a new owner.
Hey everybody, I am Ben Weiss, and this is Humans of Flippa. I'm so excited to be joined today by Chelsea Clark. Hey Chelsea, how you going?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, Chelsea, beyond being one of the verified brokers with Flippa, with her blogs for sale brokerage, which I'm sure we'll talk about here at some point. She's also got her own blog, Her Paper Roots, a blog and education site. We'll get to that too. But so much to learn about you. I guess let's just start it at the beginning. I feel like you've got kind of an interesting story about how you entered the digital space. It sounds like you kind of lost your job at some point, or what was going on there? How did this
Oh,
all start
yeah.
for you?
Well, yeah. So I worked in marketing for years, and I always had a couple jobs on the go. So I'd be bartending by night, working an office marketing job by day, and I always had some sort of side hustle. Always had a blog or something on the go. I think my first business out of college was a drop shipping site. And that was, I just set up the website and would have things, products, clothing, have it ordered from China, ship it out, and that was great for some time. And then I lost my job. I was laid off from the marketing job, and I realized, whoops, I didn't have any savings. I was really just kind of having fun in my 20s, and I hadn't really been thinking about the long term or having a savings fund or emergency fund. So that was a great wake up call and an excellent opportunity for me, because I really realized I needed to get serious, and I chose to really focus on my online business and my digital in the digital space and what I could do online so that I could have control over my own income. And then if something happened, no surprises in that way. So I really just focused on learning everything that I could about website investing, digital media. And even though I went to university for digital media, things happen fast and change fast. So there's a lot of education that I gave myself after school for many years to figure things out, figure out what worked, and learn about affiliate marketing and website development. And all of that stuff sort of came together when I realized that I could take my blog and put my marketing experience into it to monetize it and grow it and make that my business. So that is how I got into this. And actually, the first site that I sold was on Flippa. It was a beauty blog, and I was running it for about a year. It was making about $3,000 a month, and I sold it on Flippa for 39,000. And then that was like, hey, okay, let's go full on in. So I became a broker. I'm now with the IBBA, and I now help people buy and sell niche online properties as well. So that's how I got into it.
That's not too shabby. I'm curious, just on that beauty blog that was your first one. Did you build that yourself, or was that something you acquired from someone else? How'd that
I
start
did,
off?
yeah. I built that one from scratch. It was so cruelty-free beauty subscription box reviews was the niche of it. So I would just check out any sort of beauty subscription boxes that were cruelty-free, vegan. I reviewed them, and that was a great little business that was going on for, like I say, about a year. With something like that type of a content site, even though it's still online and you're creating content, there's so much that goes into reviewing physical products.
Mm.
So that wasn't completely passive. And I really just wanted to focus on the next business that would be more passive, which would just be about reviewing tech products and, online tools and things like that didn't require shipping and all of those little pieces that go with reviewing actual products, actual physical products. And so that's what that beauty blog was about. I built it from scratch. I grew it just using free tools at the time. I was just going into Facebook groups for beauty bloggers and for people who are interested in the cruelty-free niche. And I would just share my latest blog posts and really just go in and actively participate in that community. And that's how the blog grew. And it actually grew quite fast. I was able to grow the mailing list to 6,000 people within just a few months. And there was really a community that came with it. So when it came time to sell that site, it had this sort of established community with it, the email list, the social email subscribers, social media followers. It was all like a nice little package that was ready to go and turnkey for someone else.
Yeah, it is amazing how much all those little aspects can come together to put a lot more value to a site.
Oh,
Sometimes you'll
totally.
just straight up look like, okay, well, here's the page views or something. You're like, okay, but what else is going on behind the scenes? Where are those page views coming from? I guess is important.
Definitely.
So I'm curious, that sounds like something that you were probably relatively passionate about, at least at the time. Is that something you recommend people is like to get working in an industry or a niche that they know about already? Or what do you
Oh,
kind of recommend to
definitely.
people when they're acquiring something or starting something?
Yes, absolutely. I look at website investing the same I do as investing in the stock market. Invest in what you know, what you personally feel connection to, or just something that you can see that you can put your expertise on, or you can hire out and have a team do it for you. So if it's something that you personally feel connected to, it's just going to be a lot easier for you personally if you are the one creating the content to write that content, feel connected to it. It's a lot easier to monetize it because you already know the types of products that that audience, that niche audience will want because you yourself can see that value. So I always say first go for what you know or what you would like to know more about. But also, you don't have to be scared about investing in something that you don't know because nowadays you can hire out, you can hire a team, there's people to help you, and you can learn what you need to learn so that you can be better at it yourself too.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think it's important. I'm on the same wavelength. You gotta have at least some sort of know-how or like appreciation because, and you were saying before you were looking for something a little bit more passive, but I always like to tell people there's no such thing as like an actual passive income.
That's true.
It
You
always
have to
takes
put the
some
work
sort
up.
of work.
That's right. Yeah, there's always that upfront work, and especially like something like online courses. I love that because you can create an online course, you put that work in once, and then that becomes passive later. But it's a lot of work to create the content first. So, yeah,
Yeah,
there's no thing right out of the gate that's just passive. You have to do a little bit of work first.
yeah, absolutely. So if you could tell me a little bit more about that, actually, I think your primary business is the Her Paper Route. Yeah, is that your kind of main blog right now, and you're doing education on that? Am I right?
I am, yeah. So I do offer courses, and there's also a podcast too, and blog content. So it's all teaching about monetization. So content monetization, blogging, creating digital products, creating courses, just basically anything that you could do as a creator to have another revenue stream or a few. And so that's really what we do at Her Paper Route. It's all just free resources and really affordable priced online courses when you want to dig into something deeper. And yeah, so I think that anything that you can do that you can create to become passive later, of course, like you're saying, you got to work first, but that's just going to save you so much time. And when we're looking at website investing and people are looking for what type of sites to buy and acquire, I mean, if you are a seller and your site earns primarily from a service like that you offer, maybe that service is really wonderful and helpful, but it's going to be a lot harder to find a buyer that's going to want to buy that type of site unless
Hmm,
they can also provide that service. So
right.
yeah, I always go for digital products, affiliate marketing, and of course ad revenue if you've got that nice search traffic and organic traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I guess that's kind of what brought you. It looks like for your broker side of your business, you're focused on blogs, right? Content sites. And do you have any particular things you're looking? Well, let's start at the beginning. Do you both help people buy and sell?
I do. Yes. Yes. So I do help both sides, and it is you can go and you can get your valuation and see what you might want to how you want to list it. We do Amazon FBAs, content sites, e-commerce
Okay.
as well. But yeah, my personal passion and love is content sites, and I love being able to find a way for creators to give new life to their site because blogging is a lot of work. That's no secret. And a lot of times people just, either they burn out or their passions change, their interests change, but they still have this really great asset. They've created all of this amazing content, and I just want to be able to see it go to a new owner. I've I've heard people say like, "Oh, I'm tired. I'll just let my hosting expire and, whatever, we'll forget about it." And I'm like, "No." You've created something. There's someone else that could take it and run with it and develop it and make it profitable for themselves. And so that's why we offer established and starter sites, because depending on where you're at, you may not be ready to invest in that $10,000
Right.
established site yet, but there's also some really great niche content sites that are more starters. And it just gives people another option that they could then run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any favorites that clients have either brought to you to sell or that they've picked up along the way that just kind of make you smile?
Yeah, actually, we had a really great Amazon FBA site, which it was a jewelry business. And the seller had created all of this jewelry. She'd been running it for about 3 years and it was quite profitable. It was doing really well. But she had tons of inventory. Like she had made so much jewelry and Amazon was shipping it. And so it was really like an easy win for someone to come in. They don't have to make a bunch of jewelry. Everything is made, it's at Amazon's warehouses. That was such a great one because the woman who bought it, she was just right on it. She was so excited about it. She really connected with the designs of the jewelry. She wasn't a jewelry maker herself, but she saw it and she saw what she could do by hiring someone down the line, but she didn't even have to think about that yet because all that inventory was there. So that was really cool. And we also get a lot of sites that are, travel sites too. And this year with COVID and all the borders being shut and travel taking such a hit, I'm seeing a lot of people, and you may be seeing this on Flippa as well, is a lot of investors are looking for travel sites now because they know that, once people are immunized, I can't even talk today. Once people have their immunization and they are able to travel again, travel blogs are going to just blow up. I really do think that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm seeing, yeah, a lot of that travel sites for sure.
Yeah, it's probably a good place if you're trying to look for, what's undervalued right now. That might be a good place to start.
Yes, for
Makes
sure.
sense. Next year is going to be very interesting in digital because it's been great this year because people are it's actually growing, I would say, because a lot of people are in the shoes that you were in at some point where they're losing their jobs and they're saying, well, let's move to the internet and see what I can do here. And it's going so well. Um,
Exactly.
I'm always curious. It's and maybe you're just absolutely amazing at this, but do you have any mistakes you've ever made in the online world? Bought something that was just a disaster?
Yes. Oh, for sure. See, when I'm buying sites, sometimes I'm looking for the ones that are great and have great traffic and all that. A lot of the time, I'm not. I'm actually just looking for great content. So it's okay if I buy a site that would be considered a dud because I can repurpose that content. I can turn it into a course. I can put it onto different domains and, break it up into smaller niche sites. There's things I can do with it. But there's definitely when I first got started with acquiring sites, and this is a couple years back, I didn't know what PLR was at the beginning, and I bought a site and I didn't ask, well, is it all unique? Is it all, your own content? That's always something you should always ask. And so I bought this site, and fortunately, it was only about $2,000. I didn't drop too much money on it, but I got it and then realized when I ran it through Copyscape, oh, all of the content is PLR content. I basically bought a PLR package, like, whoops. So that was definitely something to look out for. And anybody who's getting into website investing or even just creating content yourself, like SEO is so important. So take an SEO course from the beginning. Just know what you're doing. Just have the foundations. My first site that I was creating, I didn't know about duplicate content. So I was just out of school and I created a blog post. And I'm like, this is a great post. I'm going to put it on another post on the same domain and maybe so I can test advertising and test like A/B testing for traffic from different sources. I didn't know that that was a big no-no. So I'm glad that I learned about that and I took, my SEO training and I figured things out. And so now moving forward, any sites that I create, I'm always creating them with good SEO in mind and on-page optimization. And, there's so much to learn, but it really will pay off in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you still buying sites yourself or are you mostly helping other people at this point?
I'm always on the lookout for sites. Yeah, I'm always buying, I'm always developing and flipping. And I have a couple on the go right now that I'll be listing in the new year. So I'm sure I'll be talking with you guys about that. And yeah, and I'm always looking what's on Flippa and coming up because I always have my eye out for a good buy.
Cool. Yeah, I love it. And we like it when you list great sites on Flippa. So we'll be looking for them. It's been really good learning about your business. I always love ending these with the same question. Someone like yourself, especially, you started kind of like the rest of us. I mean, I guess you went to college and you had kind of a normal day job, and now you're working in this digital domain. So I always like to know, like, what does your perfect day look like?
I love that. I knew you were going to ask that. So I think any day where, okay, first of all, I am a mom and I'm fortunate that my husband works from home too. So we can kind of share the duties so that I can work. But any day where I get a couple hours in the morning to myself and I can just focus on going through all my inbox, getting all those emails sorted, and having like an hour to just focus on my own creative content, that is perfect because I'm finding that those moments are more and more few and far between. So any type of moment or day that I can just get some time to just focus on something creative, whether it's maybe writing my emails for the week or creating a new lead magnet, something like that, or the holy grail, being able to write more than one blog post, that is awesome. So that would be perfect for me.
I love it. Just about finding that time, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's as I was saying, the passive income, right?
Hmm.
We all feel like we're just running things that don't take any time, but really even finding that extra hour in the day can make all the difference.
So true. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Chelsea, it's been fantastic getting to know you a little bit. So thank you for joining me here on the Humans of Flippa.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to get to chat with you.